Welcome to the Behind Closed Door podcast where shit gets real when the door clicks shut. I'm your host, Jaylen Thomas, and it is episode 1. So I guess I'll just go ahead and dive right into it. Man, let's get one thing straight. This isn't a motivational podcast. This isn't a think positive, wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym harder type podcast. I feel like as men, this podcast is for the shit that we don't say out loud. It's about the anger that you don't know what to do with, the silence you sit in because explaining just feels pointless sometimes, the pressure to be strong when you already exhausted. Us as men, we aren't broken. We're just expected to carry everything quietly and never crack. And when we do crack, we're told to man up, drink less, work more, or shut up. Not here. Not on Behind Closed Doors. No, Behind Closed Doors is a real conversation about mental health, about identity, failure, relationships, and purpose. And just parts of being a man that don't just quite fit into no Instagram caption. It's no cute advice, no fake vulnerability, no pretending it's all going to be okay. Because sometimes it won't be. Sometimes you just need honesty, tools, and someone to say, yeah, that's a lot. That part's heavy. Let's talk about it. And if you're here, it's because you're tired of pretending, tired of carrying it along, tired of being told you're fine when clearly you're not. And if that is you, you're in the right place. Like I said, this is Behind Closed Doors, so let's open them. Yeah, man, I guess so. We'll just go ahead and dive into it. I am the host, Jaylen Thomas. It will be a single person podcast. We're gonna grow as a family. But yeah, I guess a little bit about me. I'm 24 years old. I'm the oldest of 4 brothers. My family is my world. And I got a baby sister as well. I ain't gonna leave her out. Shout out Ryan. My current occupation, I'm a firefighter. I've been firefighting for about a year and a half now. And I'm also in the U.S. Marine Reserves. Shout out to all my crayon eaters out there. But yeah, I just wanted to come here and really just give y'all the introduction of what this podcast is gonna be, what it's gonna be about, who I am, my story, why I'm here, and just really give y'all a layout, set the foundation for what's to come. Because it's gonna be up to y'all to help this thing blow, for y'all to help us reach different men, men of all ethnic races and backgrounds, men of different struggles. Because as men, we do all go through something, and that is the point of this podcast: is to reach men who don't have an outlet, to reach men who feel like they don't have a voice. Because I feel like mental health in men is something that's not talked about often enough. I feel like it's a dim light that's shed on it, and that's just not fair. That's just not right. You know what I'm saying? We're all humans at the end of the day, so we all deserve to be heard. I was born in a small town called Albany, Georgia. Shout out to all my people from the 229. And then I moved to South Carolina when I was about 9 years old. So I currently call this place home. I am the oldest of 5. I got 3 brothers, 1 sister, Jaylen, Jamar, Jay Sean, and my baby sister Ryan. They are my world. I literally do whatever for them whenever I need to. But yeah, I'm a family man first. Honestly, I'm a simple guy. I wake up, I go to work, just come home, I play my game. That's literally my daily routine. I'm all about growth. I'm all about just being the best you could be despite what you may be going through. I'm hoping this podcast can kind of shed some light on that. This podcast is special to me, and we'll get into why in just a quite second, my story on why I'm here and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to give y'all a rundown, kind of make y'all feel comfortable with me. This is my first time doing something like this, so I am a little shaky, I'm a little jittery. But as you see, the smile is on my face because I'm excited, and that's one of the biggest things, man. I've been wanting to start this thing for a long time now, and I'm finally getting encouraged to do it. My why is kind of why I'm doing it, and that'll come up at a later moment as well. But yeah, that's kind of it about me. The podcast is gonna go 4 episodes a month, 1 episode weekly, different category based. This week is the introductory episode. Next week it'll be an episode about identity. Week after that it'll be an episode about relationship. The week after that it'll be an episode about purpose. So it'll kind of be that layout a little bit. For the most part, so you can expect 4 episodes. You can expect to see my face weekly. I'm still undecided on what days I'm gonna post and stuff like that. I kind of want to do middle of the week because it's hump day. You know what I'm saying? Who don't love a good hump day episode? But I guess I'll leave that up to y'all of how often y'all want it, what day y'all want the episodes and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and dive into my story. So the reason I started Behind Closed Doors was because, like I said, I wanted to shed a light onto men's mental health because I feel like that is a topic that's not very talked about. And I'm not gonna sit here and front or lie to you guys. That is something that I never really knew existed. I kind of was one of those people that, as a man, if he was going through something, I would tell you, man up, just get through it, embrace the suck. But a situation happened in my life 2 years ago today, because this episode will be dropping on January 29th of 2026. So yes, 2 years ago to the day, my twin brother, Jaylen Thomas, committed suicide. That probably was the roughest day of my life. if I'm being completely honest with you. I can't even tell you what I was thinking in that moment or what I was even doing. Well, I was stationed up in North Carolina and I was on fire watch and a message came to my phone at 10:15 and ironically 10:15 is me and his birthday. So it was crazy when I sat down and processed everything, but 10:15 is our birthday and he sent a message at 10:15 PM. And, if you're on fire watch, you're not supposed to be on your phone, nothing like that. Like, it's like guard duty, just preparing you for like night watch in case you ever get deployed or stuff like that. So yeah, I felt my phone buzz in my pocket and I pull it out and it's like group message. And it had me, my two younger brothers, my mom, my dad, his ex-fiance in it. And I get to reading it and automatically the message just sounded so off, so weird. I immediately knew something was wrong. To be honest, I didn't even finish the message. As soon as I got like halfway through, I closed out my messaging app and I started calling him because I just knew something was wrong. I could tell something was wrong with my brother. I was calling, I was calling, I was calling, I was calling, didn't get an answer, didn't get one at all. So I finally went back to the message and I read it again, and that's when it struck me like, okay, something serious going on, something dangerous is happening right now. So I called my best friend Aaron because I got a group of friends that I hang out with, and 7 of us, and we all been cool since like 6th, 7th grade for real. Those are my brothers from another mother. Yeah, so I called my best friend Aaron and I was like, "Hey, you with Jay?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "Find my brother." He was like, "What you mean?" I said, "Bro, stop asking me questions, just find my damn brother." And that's literally like I promise you, nah, I think back to this day, he probably was so confused because it's like, "What do you mean find your brother?" But I literally said, "Find my brother," because we also like me and all my homeboys, we share a location with each other. So I was like, "Bro, find my brother." He was like, "All right, I got you." After I got off the phone with him, I called my brother Jamar and I was like, "Did you get Jay message?" He was like, "Yeah, bro, we driving around trying to find him now. We don't know where he is. His location is off, this, that, and the third." And so everybody's freaking out, literally everybody. I called my mom, she's panicking. I called my dad, but he was at work, so he couldn't even answer the phone. So I'm literally pacing back and forth throughout the barracks, just pacing, 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 pacing. And my mom's going a mile, 1,000 miles a minute. And yeah, and then probably like 5, 10 minutes later, Jamari called me back, and his exact words on the phone, I'll never forget it to this day. His exact words was, "He did it, Joe. He did it. He shot himself." And I think the emotions that I went through in that moment was surreal, because I didn't know I couldn't comprehend what he had just said. If I'm being honest, I probably chuckled. I probably chuckled when he said that. Through all the seriousness, I probably did chuckle when he said it. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And it's like soon as I finished my "What do you mean" statement, I could just hear my mom's voice screaming, crying, yelling, saying, "God, no, God, why? Please, not my baby." And I think at that moment when I heard the emotions coming from my mom through the phone, I think that's when it got real. I woke the next person up for fire watch and I was like, "I ain't gonna look, bro. You gotta get up like right now." 'Cause at this time, it's already like 11 o'clock, so it's time to switch. So I was like, "You gotta get up right now." I ain't even let him get up. I just took my little glow bett off, threw it on him, and I was like, "I'm out." So I ran outside, and I'm just sitting on the phone with my brother. I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean he shot himself?" Like, he was like, "Joe, he shot himself in the head." I'm literally, like, holding him right now as we speak. So yes, my middle brother, Jamari, he did find him, and when I bring him on the podcast, I'll let him tell y'all his side of the story, but he did find him. As he opened the door, the gun did fall out the car. That's just details that I really don't care to spare right now. But so yeah, that's kind of my story. Long story short, my twin brother shot himself. I'll never forget. I left base that very next day. We was actually preparing for a field op, so I didn't sleep that night. We got up at 4 a.m. the usual. Stood outside waiting for the buses and stuff like that. And then my captain called me over. Well, not my captain, but the captain called me over and was like, "We heard about your situation. Red Cross reached out, pack your stuff, you're going home." I got home probably like 4 o'clock that day, anxious all day, legs shaking, can't even think straight, honestly, because I just can't process what has went on. So I get to the hotel room, and I think the situation itself didn't become real for me. It is just me personally. It didn't become real for me until I walked in that hospital room and I saw him laying on that bed. I think that's when my world ended. That's when everything got real. That's when it was like, "Oh shit, like this is real life." So yeah, he was in the hospital bed. He fought though. My brother was always a fighter. That's something about Jaylen that I'll always cherish and value of him. He was a fighter. He never gave up. He fought for 2 days. My brother didn't pass away officially until June 30th. Not June 30th. Oh my geez. January 30th at 7:33 p.m. So yeah, I think that time in his fight, he was just, getting right with God and, making sure that we were all at peace and, just warming our spirits. So those last couple moments with him was special. And I goes to say that my point of view on suicide has never changed. I don't think it will change. But to witness it firsthand is something that I didn't know I could deal with. And I think that's what made me realize like mental health is real. After my brother passed, I started drinking heavy, just living a life that I wasn't, too proud of. Grief looks different for everybody, and the way it looked for me was quite an ugly sight. I was depressed. I was taking anxiety medication, sleep medication. I was crying every day. I really wasn't speaking to nobody. It was multiple times where I was to make a bad situation worse. I still had to go back to training. So I put my brother in the ground and I had to go right back to training. I really had no time to heal, no time to process everything. So on top of quote unquote training, but on top of military life, especially Marine Corps life, it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. We'll literally go down range. I'm literally firing a weapon that my brother took his life with. Hearing rounds go by your head. It was just a lot to deal with at that time. But through the grace of God, I made it through. I'm sitting in front of y'all today, telling my story. And as you see, with a smile on my face. I don't. Yeah, something tragic happened to me, but I don't let it define me. I don't let it shape who I am. But yeah, I was really down in the slumps. And that's when I realized like mental health is a real thing in men. And it is something that my brother went through. And one of his last messages to me was to tell his story, to spread his message, to spread awareness on mental health because it is real and it is something we face as men on a daily basis. And I feel like it's just not talked about. So that's what I'm doing. I'm honoring his name by bringing y'all this podcast, and it's gonna be something quite special. Um, but yeah, to tell y'all a little bit about my brother, amazing guy, great guy, father of four beautiful young boys. Those are my world, those are my rock. Ambitious, determined, resilient, probably one of the best guys you'll get to know. And I describe him that way because that's who he was. But you'll never think a guy like that would do something that he did, but he did. And so I think that just even goes to show like behind the smiles, behind the grit, behind the determination, we're all just little kids on the inside. I think we all need a hug at the end of the day. So yeah, I bring y'all this podcast behind closed doors to do exactly that, to provide you with a safe space, to provide you with a place of comfort, because let's be real, as a man, when you get home, when you get off work, to all the audience who I'm speaking to, when you come home, when you get off the streets, whenever you do what you do, and when you come home and you close those doors, that's when the real you come out. That's when your shoulders drop, your head drop, and you just sigh, because you didn't even think you'll see the end of the day. You don't even know how you made it through the day. So yeah, man, like, I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm gonna try not to make this first episode kind of long. I think I'm coming up on about 20 minutes right now. Yeah, each episode is probably gonna be about 25, 30 minutes. Just conversation, just being real. We'll laugh here, we'll joke here, but it's gonna be some nitty gritty work being put in. And it's only right. The way the name came about though, behind closed doors, is crazy because like I said, I've been wanting to start this for years now, and I was going through my process of healing and grieving that I just never felt comfortable doing it. Until something just hit me and it was like, just start, like literally just start. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just starting, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And I was in the shower one day after work, and like I said, the podcast was just running through my mind. And one of my closest friends, his name is Key. He make music, and I said one of his lyrics in my head. I think it goes something like, "On the scene, I'm going hard, but backstage or like behind closed doors, I'm shedding tears." And that lyric just kept resonating with me. And I was like, "Hold on, behind closed doors." And I said it again. I was like, "Hold on, behind closed doors." I was like, "Behind closed doors podcast, where shit gets real when the door clicks shut." And since then, that been a slogan. I kid you not, like that really has been a slogan. I think that those three words alone kind of amplifies what a man grows through, behind closed doors. Because you know, behind closed doors, shit do get real. Shit is tough. We do cry. We do face battles. And that's okay. And I think that's really the main purpose of it, to let you know that's okay. So yeah, I think I'm about to get ready to wrap it up here. Once again, like I said, I am your host, Jordan Thomas. I'm excited to be here with y'all. I hope y'all excited to be here with me. The setup is obviously gonna change. We starting from scratch, like, you know what I'm saying? We starting from ground zero. We trying to grow this thing. And honestly, it's not even about growing though. My main purpose outside of my why, which is my brother, and just shedding light is if I could just touch one person. You know, if one person come up to me and be like, "Man, your podcast really helped me," my job is done. You know, I don't care how big this get. I don't care if I don't get no views. You know, like I just want to provide that outreach for people. Outreach that honestly that I didn't have, that my brother didn't have, and I know he needed. So yeah, once again, this is the Behind Closed Door podcast where shit gets real when the door clicks shut. And this is episode 1. I will see y'all next week. We out here.